But that's the starting point of 2020. Donald Trump bragging, he brag about the lowest African-American unemployment, the lowest Latino unemployment, and how great the economy was and how he's doing all these great things. He was poised to have an excellent shot at being reelected. And then you have the economy destroyed by government imposition. Like, even if you think the lockdowns were the right things to do, the fact is that through state governors decided we're tanking our economy, like we're closing down our economy. And then you had a summer full of the biggest riots of my lifetime, which were sponsored not only financially, where you had big, powerful groups paying bail for rioters to get out of jail, but also just completely backed by the entire corporate press. This is the voice of the unheard, fiery but mostly peaceful, just making every excuse for these rioters going on in almost every major city across the country. During this whole time, anybody who wanted to speak out against this was often censored for doing so. If you wanted to speak out against the lockdowns or against Black Lives Matter or any of this stuff, you might lose social media, you might lose your job. A bigger censorship campaign than we've really ever had before. This is all going on that year. And then they announce that we are overhauling the way we do elections. And for the first time, we're letting everyone vote by mail. Not just the absentee ballots for like military personnel, but everyone can just vote by mail now. A way that we were never okay with doing it before because we would have been very concerned about fraud. But now we're all going to do that. So in this like revolutionary year, we're overhauling how we do everything. And then you have the thing with the Hunter Biden laptop story being censored. And then the result is that Joe Biden wins the election. Given all of those factors, there's just no conceivable way that an overwhelming majority of Trump voters weren't going to feel like this thing was stolen.
Right.
Just look at all the fundamentals of what happened that year. And even if you really, really don't like Donald Trump, how could you look at all those fundamentals and not go, okay, yeah, I see where. I'd see where with all of that was fertile soil for belief that this thing was stolen from them.
Yeah.
It was a pretty crazy thing. And the problem, and I think we're past the point of no return on this, for better or for worse, is that even if you think Donald Trump committed all of these crimes and that it's right for them to bring down all these indictments, at least acknowledge that it's kind of over for the right half of America to ever believe in this process again. Because the way they're going to look at this is like, oh, look, you wouldn't give him a fair shot again. Once again, you wouldn't just let him have a fair shot. You wouldn't just let the American people vote, which is so, if you believed in democracy, if you believe in this country, if you believe in trying to unite us in any way, wouldn't it be so obvious at this point? Like, it's not as if every one of the charges Donald Trump is being faced with is like some novel legal theory where they're twisting a statute to try to make him guilty of this crime. It's a very gray area at best. Wouldn't you just go, look, we're going to have a national referendum on this in November. Let the American people decide. Which side which side are they on of this? And then we could give this democracy thing a shot and see who wins. Mm-hmm. But if you do it like this, then basically the entire right half of America now doesn't believe this game is real anymore. They don't really believe they're in a democracy where they get to pick who they want to vote for. Because they're like, no, we picked this guy and you screwed him out of it. Now, by the way, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Maybe it's better that they don't believe in this system anymore. Because the system is bullshit. So.
Richmond, north of Richmond.
That's right.
Yeah.
They all want total control. Great song.
It's a great song. It's just bizarre that this conversation doesn't happen more often. Or this kind of like open laying out of the basic facts of what happened. Because it's all just narratives. It's all just left-wing talking points and right-wing talking points and just so much confusion, so much noise.
Yeah, and like it's weird because everyone does get so dug in. I do think like one of the advantages I have of like, at least I think personally, of like thinking about all these things is that I'm not on a team. Like, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm not like my basic view is that all these politicians are criminals, and so I'm not like, at least I try my best to be like, let me understand what's happening here. I'm more or less, I'm on the side of the American people and against the American political class. You know, like that's kind of my bias, if anything. But it's just people get so dug in that they're just going to jump to their points that'll shape their narrative. The truth is that, look, what happened like January 6th, say, look, what's easy to put in the rearview mirror that everybody's kind of forgetting about is that they were boarding up Washington, D.C., and not out of concern of Biden winning. You know, like they were boarding up all the stores in downtown Washington, D.C. because they were scared of Trump winning.
Right.
And they were scared of
people were going to riot.
And they would have.
Yo, people were celebrating in the streets in New York City that were ready to riot.
Yes. You know, and like, so the thing is that January 6th happened when Biden won, but a whole bunch of rioting and stuff would have happened if Trump had won. The truth is that the country was just at a point that no matter what happened there, it was going to be somewhat ugly.
If Trump wins in 2024, the way I would legitimately think, if you looked at how it went down, it's almost better for us as the American people to see all the steps that they did to interfere with the public narrative of who he is and the election. Whether it's the Hunter Biden laptop thing or the Russia collusion thing, it's almost better for us to see that naked and then also see them push Biden through. Biden get in and see what a disaster it is. I think it's better to see. If I was in Trump's camp, I would say, look, this is, other than the indictments and all the crazy, it's actually better this way because now people have a real understanding that at least some of the things that he was saying are accurate. The witch hunt thing, accurate. The Russia collusion bullshit. It's accurate. Like, and no one is admitting that. And people see it and they know it, and it scares the shit out of them. It scares the shit out of them that they just want to continue doing this to us. And if they did it with the Hunter Biden laptop thing, what else are they doing it about?